All right. So what did we learn in the previous session? What did we learn in the previous session? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I missed the
Yeah.
class, so no idea.
Okay. So we learned usage of XPath. We have learned theoretical part of XPath in the previous session. And then in the last session, we had written some program and I gave you the task that completing this program using only XPath. Okay. So that was the thing that we have learned. In XPath, we have learned so many things, finding the elements using its own attributes, finding the elements using its related attributes. I mean, nearest elements like the parent or sibling, and using some methods of XPath, contains method, text method, and also we have seen what is the usage of dot in contains method. And we have seen following sibling, preceding sibling, parent, ancestor. So these kind of keywords and methods and XPath usage we have seen in our previous session before the weekend. Now we are left with the remaining one locator. We are done with the 7 different locators of Selenium. Now we are left with the one locator, that is CSS selector. So CSS selector is similar to XPath with slight changes in the XPath, slight changes in the syntax of locating it. So let me take you to Orange HRM so that I can show you some samples. So I think we have already discussed the theoretical part of what is the difference between XPath and CSS, right? Do you remember it?
No.
Okay. So the differences I'm going to write here on the notepad. XPath versus CSS. XPath designed for, okay, first let's go with the full forms. XPath full form is XML path language, whereas CSS stands for, I'm writing shortcut, X means XPath, C means CSS, okay? Cascading style sheet. The full form of XPath is XML path language and full form of CSS is cascading style sheet. Okay, right. So XPath is designed for XML. CSS is designed for HTML. Why CSS is designed for HTML? Why do we need the CSS as part of HTML? Because CSS is used to apply styles to the HTML page. Like, for example, if you see here, when we created input boxes, let me open one of our sample. What's this? Files used, HTML files, sample. Right. Observe the input box, the corners, sharp, right? But you see here, soft rounded. This is also input box, right? If I inspect, it will be an input box. You see, it's an input box, but the corners are completely rounded. But when we created input boxes, are they rounded corners? No, right? You can see these corners, right? These are sharp. But if you see here, these are rounded. So how come the input box sharp corners have become rounded?
Is my system froze or what are you showing, Nikhil?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I can see
Sorry. I have to shift my screen sharing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, now you are seeing.
Yeah.
So sorry. Yeah, you see, this is the Orange HRM input box where you see the rounded corners of input boxes.
Yeah.
But when we created the input boxes, you see the edges are sharp
Yeah.
edges. How come the input box of this sharp edge became this rounded? See, this is also an input box.
Hmm.
How did they
Yeah.
become? Because of the styling. You see here class text input container is applied to it. So because of this styling, this is rounded. So what is this styling? This is nothing but this is coming from cascading style sheet. These are nothing but called as CSS. Okay. So these styles, if you want to apply some styling to the elements, not only this, you see the button. Button is also having the rounded edges here, and button is having some orange color, and the text is in white color. But if you see when we created a normal button, what is the color of the button? Gray color, and the text is in black color. Default, right? I did not apply any color or anything. By default, if you create a button, it will have sharp edges, it will have gray color, and the text will be in black color. You see, observe for the same reset password. But the same button, when it is created in Orange HRM, you see here, if I inspect it, you see this is input type is equals to button, set type is equals to submit, class is equals to button. So this class, this style is changing its color to orange color and the text to white color. Understood? So whatever you take here, this is because of the styling. Okay. So the changes or this UI enhancement is happening because of the styling, CSS, cascading style sheet. So to apply some style to particular elements, we have to find that element, right? So the developer should know, see, he applied here a text input container. So for what he has to update for this div tag in where we have the input, right? So to apply the style to that particular element, the developer has to find that particular element in the XPath or in the HTML page, right? So that is the technique of CSS. Now we are using what the developer uses to find an element to apply a style. The same style we are the same process we are going to use in our Selenium to find out a particular element using the CSS technique. Understood? Is that clear? What is CSS? Yeah. So let me shift to the whiteboard. Yeah. So XPath is designed for XML language, and whereas cascading style sheet is designed for HTML. Okay. Now, XPath is slower when compared to CSS. Okay. C faster than XPath. Faster than XPath. So this is the major difference between XPath and CSS. XPath is very slower when compared to CSS, whereas CSS is faster than XPath. You know why? Because CSS is designed for HTML, whereas XPath is designed for XML. So when you design something for its sole purpose, then obviously it will be working faster than the others, right? On suppose on a plain ground, a dog might be running faster, but if you take a dog to a desert and ask it to run faster, will it be? It can run, but it is not as fast as a camel, right? Right. So similarly, XPath is designed for XML, and you are using the same XPath for HTML, whereas CSS is made for HTML. So obviously CSS will be having more what do we say, more grip on the HTML, right? So that is why CSS is faster than XPath in finding elements. Okay, right. But still, you see, after we have these advantages, after we know about what is this in CSS, what is the comparison between XPath and CSS, but still we go with the XPath. You know that CSS is faster than XPath, but still we go with the XPath. Why? Because XPath has over 200 methods which supports element location. Over 200 methods. We don't use all the 200 methods, but XPath is providing the support for all those 200 methods. Okay. Whereas CSS does not have more flexibility. This has some restrictions. XPath has over 200 methods which support the element location, whereas CS does not have more flexibility. It is restricted. For example, in XPath, we have preceding sibling, right? We have preceding sibling. We have learned it, right? Preceding. Whereas in CSS, we do not have any method to go to previous or a preceding sibling. We do not have any method to go to preceding sibling. Another example why we go for XPath is here we can go from child to parent, but here no option to go to parent. Now you tell me which one is more flexible, which one is having more options. XPath only, right? Obviously. You're getting my point? XPath has options to go to preceding sibling or from child to parent, whereas CSS does not have that flexibility. We cannot go, or once we find an element and we want to go to its preceding sibling, then it's not possible for us to go to its preceding sibling. And even here in XPath, if we want to go to its parent, we can just use /. But similar kind of method is not present inside this CSS technique. So that is the reason, instead of having problems in identifying the elements using CSS, we most of the times we use XPath. Understood? Is that clear?
Yeah, Nikhil.
Oh. So now let us see how do we write CSS and let us write a small program using CSS. I'm stopping this screen sharing and I'll go to the other screen. All right. So now XPath and CSS syntax looks almost similar. Let me show you. So how do we write XPath for this input box? Come on. How do we write? Don't remember or don't know?
Is that a username?
Yeah, I want to write XPath for this input box. What should I do? /. Come on. / HTML tag and braces. In the braces, I'll use attribute ID is equals to and its attribute value text user. You see, is it finding the element? This is the way that we write XPath, right? This is how we write the XPath. Now I want to convert it to CSS. So since it is XPath, we are using /. But if it is CSS, we don't have to use these // in the beginning. You can just start with the HTML tag name. That's all. Okay. And in XPath, to represent an attribute, we are using @ symbol. But in CSS, it is not needed to represent attribute using @ symbol. You can simply write it. So I'll remove this @. Now you see, is it finding?
Yeah.
Without / and without @ also, it is able to find the element, because this is the way that we write the CSS technique. Understood? That's all. It is pretty simple. You can have without double slashes and @ symbol. That's all. That is the CSS. Okay. So this is one way that we can write the CSS locators for elements. And there is another way. If you want to use ID to find an element, you don't have to use the square braces ID is equals to. There is a shortcut or there is a symbol that can be used for ID to represent an ID, that is hashtag. That's all. You see, is it able to find? It is highlighting in yellow, and when you hover it, it is highlighting in blue. Similarly, I want to apply using its name. Okay. Come on. I want to find the password element using its name attribute. For ID, we have seen hashtag is the locator technique, like input hashtag and what is the ID. So if you use this hashtag, that means you are finding an element using its ID. That is the notation for it. This hashtag represents ID of the element. Okay, that is txt username. This is what we did. Instead of using square braces ID is equals to user txt username, we can use it in this format as well in CSS. Both are correct. Nothing is wrong. We can use this shortcut or handy notation, that is hashtag, or you can also write square braces ID is equals to txt username. This is also correct. Both are same. Instead of writing the square braces ID is equals to, we use shortcut or handy notation that is called as hashtag. Okay. Now, when we have this hashtag representation, why should we go for these braces and attribute is equals to? Because now I don't want to find an element using its ID. For ID, we have the hashtag. But what about I want to find an element using its name? Then how do I find it? I want to find an element using its name attribute. For name, I cannot use hashtag. Okay, if I want to use attribute name, then name is equals to txt username. See, pretty simple, right? Same as XPath, but you will not have double slashes and @ symbol. Okay, so this is CSS. But for name, we do not have any shortcut or handy notation. For ID, we have a handy notation, that is hashtag. But for name, we do not have any handy notation. Okay, so we use like this. Okay, this is how we find an element using its CSS element locator technique. This is a very basic thing. We are finding an element using its own attribute. We are finding an element using its own attribute. Okay, now I want to go to the span. For example, I want to go to this span element, which is a sibling to this input, right? It's a sibling to this input element. Now I want to go to this. If I want to go to this span element, it's the following sibling. So in XPath, we used to write slash following sibling ::: span. But in CSS, we do not have those following sibling method. There is a different notation. Okay, and we do not use slashes as well. See, this doesn't work. Okay. What we use to go to the following sibling, we use greater than symbol. Or greater than, what is that? Sorry, following sibling, we use the plus form. Yeah. Plus span. You see it? To go to the following sibling, we use the plus symbol. Okay. Now, okay. Now instead of this input box, I'll find this division. Okay. It has ID and it also has class. Okay. Now, to find this div using its ID, what should I do using CSS? Div. If it's ID, then we use hashtag And then what is the value? This is the value. It is finding it, right? This is using ID of it. Now, I don't want to find this div using its ID. I want to find this div using its class. So this will not work to find an element using its class. So I can use class is equals to txt input container. Right? This is one way that I can find an element. Right? I am finding two elements because for username and password, it has the same style. Okay, this is one way to find an element using its class attribute. But to find an element using a class, we have a shorthand notation. You don't have to write class is equals to. You don't have to write it. You can just simply use dot. That's all. A dot represents the class, whereas hashtag represents the ID. If you want to find an element using its ID, we use hashtag. If you want to find an element using class, we use dot. For remaining all attributes, we use the attribute name. HTML tag name, square braces, attribute name is equals to attribute value. That's all. So what is the difference between XPath and CSS? In XPath, we use in the beginning double slashes, and for representing attributes, we use @ symbol. But here we do not use them in CSS. That's the major difference between XPath and CSS syntax. Okay. So this is the shorthand notation for finding an element using its class. So to represent a class, we use dot. So how does your Selenium or the HTML or the page will understand this is a div whose class is text input container. Understood? Div, I want to find a div tag whose class is text input container. That is the meaning of this div dot text input container. Okay. Now, if you see here, I'm having two of the same class elements. I want the first one because if I want to go to the first element input username, I want to find the first one. So to find the first one in XPath, we used to write like this index, right? We used to give like this and then give the index, but it is finding the values now? Right? It is 0 of 0. So this is not the way to find the elements or to go to its particular child element or index. We cannot use that kind of index. So here, if you want to find an element using its index position, then we use colon and write nth of type. And in this braces, we give 1. So colon. Nth of type NTHOF type NTHOF type of 1. In XPath, form hash form login. That's the div child. Okay, in children, this is in children, but okay, nth of type. Sorry, so I forgot. In CSS, we do not have a method to use its index, but if suppose if you see this form, in this form we have multiple inputs. See, right? If you want to go to first input, then we use that. Okay, let me find this element form using its ID. So form hashtag of what is the form? FRM login. Now I found this form. Inside this we have multiple inputs, right? Now I want to go to its children. To go to its children, I think we have to use this greater than symbol to go to the children. Okay. So children of input. You see how many is it finding? 4, because in this form tag we have 1, 2, 3, 4 child. Right? Form is closing here and we have direct divs. Okay, if I give div, it will give 5. You see, div is starting from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the form has 5 childs with the tag called div, and the form has 4 childs with the tag called. So if you want to go to a child from its parent element, then we use greater than symbol here. Okay. Now we have 4 inputs. Out of these 4 childs, I want to select a particular child. Then I'll use colon nth of type in small braces. Now, suppose I want to go into this installation input. Okay. Then that is 1, 2, 3. So if I mention 3, it will select. If I mention 4, it will select this. If I mention 1, it is selecting the first. 2, second one. You see it? So if you want to find an element using its position or index, then we have to use the method or keyword in CSS called nth of type. Understood? If you want to find an element using its ID, then we use hashtag. If you want to go from parent to child, then we use greater than symbol. Now, I don't want, okay, now we are at this place, right? I want to go to its parent. If I want to go to its parent, then to go from parent to child, what is the symbol that we used? Come on. What is the symbol we used? It's greater than, right? From parent to child. Now, from child to parent, this, most of the people think that it should be less than or it is less than. But in CSS, we do not, as we discussed in the differences, in CSS, we cannot go from child to parent. There is no way that we can go from child to parent. We do not have any option to go from child to parent. Okay. So there is no way that we can go from child to parent. Is that clear?
Yeah, Nikhil.
Now we have seen a few things. That is, so we have seen few things. That is, if you use hashtag, this is to use ID, and then dot for class attribute, right? And then greater than symbol for going to child, right? And then plus symbol following hyphen sibling, right? So these are the things that we have learned in the examples that we have seen now. These were the 4 things. Hashtag is used for identifying an element using its ID attribute, and the dot is used for identifying an element using its class attribute, and greater than symbol is used to go to a child from an element, go to a child from its parent, and then plus is used to go to the following sibling. Then if plus is the following sibling, if you want to go to preceding sibling, can you guess? What should I use if I want to go to the preceding sibling? That means the previous sibling.
Minus.
I expected. But if you remember in theoretical part when we discussed about the differences between XPath and CSS, is there did I say that is there a way that we can go to preceding sibling? No, right?
No.
So that is the difference. So in XPath we are having an option to go to the preceding sibling, but in CSS there is no chance that we go to preceding sibling. This is not possible. This is not possible. Not at all possible. Preceding sibling is not possible. Understood? Preceding sibling, we cannot. Preceding sibling, no option. Understood? We do not have option for the preceding sibling or going from a child to its parent. Okay, these are the things that we have learned now. Okay, we close this. Now let us see if I missed anything. You are able to see my notepad, right?
Yes, yes.
But this application is flowing. So we have seen this ID, and then we have seen this dot if you want to go to an element using its class name. And then if you want to select that particular element or select all the elements, this is a regular expression, star, the same we used in XPath as well. If you want to find all the elements, okay, then we use this star. And to go to a immediate child, then we use greater than symbol. And yeah, now we are having these some regular expressions of this CSS which we can use. I'll tell you in a bit. We used this plus to find or to find an element to go to its sibling, and then we used this nth of type to find a particular child in a list of elements. Right now we are left with caret and dollar symbol. Okay, so caret is used to represent starts with, whereas dollar is used to represent ends with. Now let us see these elements and find the let us use those attributes and find the elements. Okay, now if I take this inspect, now you see here this one is having a name which is starting with txt user, right? If I want to find this element using starts with, then what is the HTML tag? It's input. And for name, I do not have any shortcut. For ID, I have hashtag. For class name, I have dot. But for name, we do not have anything. So in that case, what are we doing? We are applying square braces and writing name is equals to. If I want to give full name, then I'll use this. But if I want to give only starts with text, okay, I don't care what is it ending with. But if it is starting with this text, then I will use this symbol. You see, is it finding? Because the name is starting with txt user, right? I want to find the password. You see, am I able to find it? Txt pass. That's all. If you want to find an element using the beginning or initial or the starting text of it, of any attribute, then you can use this. Okay. All right. Now let us see ends with. For ends with, do we have any perfect example here? Oh, yeah. You see here we have two divs. One ID is div login starts with, both of them starts with div login, but this is ending with help link and this is ending with button. Now I want to find a div login button which is ending with button. So let me write the XPath for it. So div, okay, div. If I want to use ID, then I have to use hashtag, right? But here I'm using starts with or ends with. So here what I'm going to do, ID ends with dollar is equals to, in single quotes, I'll say button. Is it finding it? You see, button is, this div is ending with button, so it is able to find it. If I change it to help link, see, you understood? You understood how do we use this starts with and ends with?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So we are done with this hashtag dot star greater than caret, which is starts with, and then dollar, which is used for ends with, and then plus to go to the following sibling nth of type to go to a particular child in the HTML tag. And similarly, we also have first child, which is going to find the first child of that parent. Okay. And here are the sample examples. If you want to find an element using its self attributes, then you can use this is the syntax. Or for ID, since we have a short notation that is hashtag, so this is how you can find it. Okay. Or if you want to find an element using its class name, self attribute, then input form input text, this is the class. If you want to represent or if you want to find an element using its styling, then we use dot symbol. If you want to go to a child, then we use greater than symbol. Okay. And then if you want to go to one of the child from multiple children, then we use nth of that. Okay. This is all about CSS. That's all. Now, one small thing that we missed or that we have to discuss is, let me see if I have any element which is having multiple class values. I think it's not there inside this. Everything has a single class. Let me log in and see if I may find some elements who is having multiple styles. Inspect. Now this is also having one. See this. It's only one. Okay, I'll go to the other sites or even Gmail. Let's see this. Inspect. Okay, let's go to going to this side. Then let's see for this element. Inspect. Yeah, you see here class, or you see here class. This is having FL, search box, and clearfix. These three are different class names or different styling names. FL is one style, search box is another style, and clearfix is another style. In CSS, if you want to apply multiple styles, then we use spaces. Okay. Now I want to find an element using this class. Okay. So copying this, Control F, then you see here in if it is XPath, then /dev @class is equals to, in single quotes we used to represent everything and then we are able to find it. But in CSS we do not use this / and we do not use this @. That's all. This is the same in long notation or in attribute notation. But if I want to use a short notation, if I want to use the short notation, that is dot, then if I use dot, this will not work. You see, is it finding the element? No, because FL is one style, search box is another style, and clearfix is another style. So that means for this division, we are applying three different styles. Okay, so the same div is having three different styles. So for each style, we have to use dot, search box, dot. Now you see, is it finding the element? Right? You understood what I'm trying to say? If there are multiple styles applied to a single element, then to find that element using all the styles, we have to replace the spaces with dots. See this? Clearfix search wrap. this is two styles. Clearfix is one, search wrap is another style. So if you want to find this element, then clearfix dot search wrap. But if you go to this element, okay, it's a single style, error hyphen message hyphen fixed. This is a single style, so single dot is enough. But if you have a class with multiple spaces, then after space this is separate style, after space this is separate style, and this is another style. So that means for this element we are having three different styles that is being applied. So if you want to find an element with such classes, then we have to replace all these spaces with dots. Understood? Is that clear?
Yes, Nikhil.
Okay. Now let's use this CSS technique and start writing some code for Orange HR. Okay. We go here. Selenium package. C6 was the one. Now let me create another class C7. New. Oh, sorry. This is C7 underscore CSS. All right, first things first, we know we have to go to this. So these are the common lines, so that I'm copying here. Okay. All right, now we are on the Orange HRM login page and the window is maximized. I want to enter username using CSS technique. Driver dot find element, okay, by dot CSS selector. So what is the CSS selector now? We don't know. We have to enter the text username. So I'm giving this admin. Okay. Now we have to find what is the CSS selector for username. Right click. So what is the CSS selector for this? Come on. Tell me. If I want to find using its ID, how should I write CSS? HTML tag name input, and I want to use its ID, so I'm using hashtag. And then what is the attribute value of ID? Txt username. That's all, right? That is the value, right? ID attribute. This is the CSS input hash txt username, and then similarly I want to find the password, right? For password I'll enter admin123, but that will not be txt username. This will be something different. Now let's find this password using its name, not using its ID. Let us find using its name. Okay, to find an element using its name in CSS, what we have to do? There is no short notation. So what we'll do? We'll apply square braces and then we'll mention the attribute name is equals to, in single quotes, we'll mention the value txt password. That's all. Understood? No. Right. And then we want to click on the login button. Let's see what properties do we have. For login, we have ID, we have value, we have class. Now, if you want to find this login button using its class, okay, then what is that? Input dot button. Are we finding it using its class? Right. If you want to make sure that it is to apply both ID and class, because the style button might be applied to multiple elements. So in that case, if you want to apply multiple attributes or multiple properties to the same input, suppose I want to apply value attribute, value is equals to login, you see. So that means now the CSS is looking for an input element whose class is button and whose value is login. Both conditions applied on the same element. Use this driver dot find element by dot CSS selector of this. Click. That's all. Now we are logged into the port. Let's log in manually. Admin 1, 2, 3, and let's find the element. I want to click on PIM. So I'm finding PIM. So this is A and it has an ID and it has a class. Okay. Now let us apply ID because we do not have any method to click on click using a particular text or to there is no text method in CSS. You see text method in CSS selector. We will not have that. The inner text or the strings patterns in the HTML tag manifest the web page. Colon is used to symbolize this contains method. Let's see if it has any method or it did add any method to find the text. You see, button colon contains text. So let us try this. So this is, where did it go? Okay. This is a tag colon contains, what is the syntax? Contains, and then in double quotes the text. So let's see if it's working. PIM, you see, it's not working because it is inside P. So to go to B tag, what should we do? Child is A greater than B. Is it working? Let me remove this A greater than. Is it working? B contains PIM. No. Because in CSS also we are having multiple versions 1, 2, and 3 like that. So in one of the versions this text will work, and most of the versions this method will not work. Contents is not available in CSS versions that the developers use. So that is the reason this doesn't work. Okay, so we cannot use a text attribute. Though we have this, see, they are saying that with the inner text you will be able to find it, but this won't be possible because we are having some issues with it. This is work only in some of the cases where the CSS version is greater than 1. Okay, so that is not available here. This is not this might not be version 1, so that is why you are unable to find using this contains method. Then how do we find this? We have ID, a tag ID, or we have href, and we have class. So let's see if I take a class dot first level menu. How many is it finding? 11, right? Now I don't want 11. I want only this PIM. Okay, then I want to use its ID to make it unique. So this is the ID. You see, I'm applying two properties, class and ID, both. Okay. Now I can click on this. Yeah. Driver dot find element by dot CSS selector dot. Okay, I missed one brace. Understood? Now I clicked on. Which one? Okay. Okay. Somewhere subject tax. That's okay. Let me close this P8. Now let's see what is the problem here. Extra brace. Okay, then let's try this. Driver dot find element by dot CSS selector, and then I have to. So on what? After clicking on PIM, I want to click on add employee. So let us inspect this add. Now see, again, it has a text and it has an ID. With text, we do not have any method in CSS. So I have to use this ID. So what is this? Anchor tag and its ID. So I don't need this. Anchor tag, hash. That's all, right? Now I can click on this. That's all. Now until here it will come until add employee page. You can find an element using its, you can find these first name, last name and save button using its CSS styling, and then complete this remaining program. Okay, task. That is a task for you. Task. Add the user using CSS styles. Okay. Now let's run this and see if you see any issues. What is the issue? See, it opened the driver. It should maximize. Now again, navigated to PIM, clicked on add employee. You see? So we will be able to run the program with any element locator that we use. Might be CSS, might be ID, might be class, it might be link text, parcel link text, whatever the element locator technique you use, we can still run the program. Understood? Any questions in the CSS? No? Okay. I have notes and something prepared just for you to understand the different methods. Let me open that notes and show you. Try. So this there is two things. One is Excel sheet and one is the PDF file. So those things actually notes and web driver. Yeah, this is the Excel sheet which I was talking about, which is showing the differences between XPath and CSS, and how do we write the XPath and how do we write the CSS. So if you want to find an element using it, you are able to see my Excel screen, right?
Yeah, Nikhil.
Yeah.
Once it completes loading, I'll zoom it so that you can see the text. You're able to see it? Is it clear? A little now?
Yes.
Okay. So using ID attribute, this is the syntax that we write XPath, and these are the two ways that we can use in CSS. And if you want to find an element using its class attribute, this is the way that we write in XPath, and this is the way that we write in CSS. If we have multiple class values, we can use spaces as it is in XPath because they are inside the single quotes. But in CSS, we have to use dot. We have to replace all the spaces with dots if you are using short notation. If you are using long notation, then you use the same thing. And then if any other attributes, then use @ for XPath, nothing for CSS. Okay. Then if you want to go to the immediate child, we use /. Here we use greater than symbol. And if you want to go to inside a parent, if you want to go to a particular child, input of 2, we use indexing mechanism, square braces and number. But here we use nth of type. Okay. And to go to a parent element, we have /. But in CSS, it does not support. It may not work. There is a method called parent, but it may not work. Okay. And then this is also another way in XPath. Okay. And any parent in element hierarchy, if you want to go, then we have ancestor. There is no such method in CSS. And go to next sibling, we have / following sibling. But here we have plus symbol. And go to previous sibling, we have preceding sibling method. But in CSS, we do not have any such option. That is why it is blank. Okay. And then contains method, we know text and we have string. These are the methods that we have. Okay. But in CSS, we do not have such things. You see, this is there that we tried right just now. The contains text, but that doesn't work. It may not work for CSS because the contains method is added in CSS version 3 or 4 somewhere, but most of the sites use the older version of CSS. So that is the reason you won't be able to work with these methods. Okay. And then starts with, we had starts with method in XPath, whereas in CSS we use caret symbol. And then ends with, we use ends with text in XPath, whereas in CSS we use $. Okay. You see, ends with is introduced in XPath 2.0. It depends on XPath engine what we are using. This ends with will not work in XPath. We have tried it because this is introduced in XPath version 2. So if you are using XPath version less than 2, then ends with doesn't work. But CSS, it works. Okay, is that clear? Okay, so this is a sheet that is having some differences just for your references. Okay, I'll share this sheet to you as well. Next, somewhere while I'm learning or while I'm searching in Google, I found this useful PDF file. You see here, they are in this PDF, they have created clearly how do we find an element using what attribute. Okay, if you want to find an element using its XPath 1 or 2 and CSS 1, 2, 3, and then document object model, and in Selenium if we have any specific method. Okay, so like this, they have given the criteria. If you want the whole web page, then like this. Here is the recipe. I mean, what is the scenario that you are trying? Here is the XPath. Here is the CSS. Here is the DOM structure. Here is Selenium. Here, Selenium, most of the times it has in it. Right? So you can concentrate on this XPath and CSS for your reference. And this is the tabular column. Okay. And similarly, I have another one. They have separated these by groups. If you want to find any element using its ID or name, you can search in this section. If you want to find an element using its lang and class, you can search in this section. So like this, they have separated the sections. Okay, so you can use this for your reference to find any element, XPath or CSS or DOM structure. Okay, is that clear? I'll share all these 3 files. The differences what I have noted and samples what I found in Google. I'll see all these 3 files in the notes. You can go through them and let me know if you have any questions or if you don't understand anything. Okay. All right. Any question in today's session? Yanji, Shara,
No, Nidal.
both of you are good.
Yeah.
Okay. We still have around 10 minutes left. So let me see what is the next topic that we have. Okay, CSS. Now we have synchronization. Okay. All right. So let me give the theoretical part of synchronization, and then in our next session, we can see how do we apply this synchronization. Okay. So the theoretical part of synchronization. What is synchronization? Why do we have to be synchronized? And what with what we have to be synchronized? Okay. Now, if you see here, suppose I opened gmail.com. Okay, I'm clicking on gmail.com. I clicked on it and I want to send an email directly. So if I search for inbox item, now do I see that inbox element here? No, right? I have to wait until that page is completely loaded. Agree? Suppose facebook.com. I want to click on username, but see, okay, this is loading a bit faster. Gmail is correct example. You see, once I go to this URL, I have to wait until the inbox is open. You see this, there is a loading screen here. Until this is completed, I have to wait, right? I know that I have to wait until that page is loaded. But how does your Selenium know that you have to wait? Okay, the page is being loaded. We have to wait for some time. Right? You understood the point? You understood the point, right? Orange HRM also, for example. Orange HRM. I'm doing some operations, and then when I clicked on this Orange HRM, I want to enter the username directly, but it is taking a little time to load. Right? When I clicked on logout, okay, it is taking a little time to load. Let me give the username and password. Click on login. Now you see it takes a little time to load. Okay, it is being faster, but sometimes it takes a little time. PIM, and then let me click on add employee. This is being pretty fast. Okay, but some applications might take some time to load that particular page. So while it is loading, our Selenium script has to stop its flow, right? You understood? So you see here, if you go through this line by line, so we are opening the driver and we are going to this URL and then maximizing it and then sending the username, password and clicking on login, and we are not waiting for anything. We are just directly doing the operations. When this line gets executed, it sends the keys admin to the browser and then it goes to the next line directly. It is not waiting to enter the password. Once it is clicking on login, it is not waiting for anything. It is trying to click on the PIM module directly, right? But sometimes when you click on login, if the internet is slow or if the site is slow, then this element, to get this element, it might take a little time. You are still in the login page because the net is slow or the page is loading very slowly, but your script is trying to click on the PIM module. Will that work? All right. We should tell this script to wait for this element. Once it is appeared, then click on it. Right? You got my point? Hello?
Yes, Nidal.
So that is where synchronization comes into picture. So we have two different ways of synchronization in Java. One is implicit wait and the other one is explicit wait. Implicit wait means the default wait that we can apply for all the elements. Whereas explicit wait means we are trying to apply only in that particular place. For example, I think we already had the implicit wait. Did we? Let me check. Go to this get driver. I did not apply any implicit weight here. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I'll tell you that's not a problem. So we have two different types of base, that is implicit weight and explicit weight. So implicit weight is a default weight that is applicable at the driver level. So we are giving this implicit weight at the driver level because whatever the operation that you are going to perform on the driver, if it has to be synchronized, then this implicit weight will be applied automatically because we gave this implicit weight information to the driver in the beginning. Okay. Second, explicit weight. So wherever we want, we are not applying it at a whole level. We are applying it at a particular element. We are applying it at a particular position. So that is explicit weight. Explicit weight, the user has to mention, okay, explicitly that you have to wait some duration over here. Okay. So these are the two different types. In implicit weight, we mostly use two things. One is implicitly wait, and the other one is page load timeout method. These are the two methods which we apply at the driver level. One, this implicitly wait will wait for all the elements for the time you mention inside this. Okay, wherever, whenever I'm trying to click on some element, but that element is not available, then if I apply this implicitly wait on the driver, then it will wait for 20 seconds for that element to appear. Then if apply this page load timeout, if the complete page is not loaded within the time which I mentioned here, then it will fail. So this is the page load time. So we mostly use these two things, implicitly wait and page load time. Okay, these are implicit wait. We'll write the program in our next session, but just covering the theoretical part today. Okay, then we have explicit wait, where the user is explicitly mentioning the weight that needs to be applied for a particular element, not for all the elements, for a particular element. So if since we have to apply for a particular element, we use some conditions over here. Okay, so what are those conditions, and how are we helping, or how are we letting our Selenium script to wait for that particular element? We are doing it in explicitly. Again, how in synchronization we have two types, like implicit and explicit, where implicit is default, which is applied at the driver level. Explicit is done by the user by applying some conditions. Okay, again in explicit wait we have two different types, two different classes which supports synchronization concept. One is WebDriver wait and the other one is Fluent wait. Understood? These are the two classes that is supporting synchronization concept in Selenium. And then we have another explicit wait which is called as thread.sleep. Here we are not applying any conditions, but we are completely making the system halt for the time that we mentioned here. Okay, this is also to stop the execution for a particular time. Understood? So you understood what is synchronization, the theoretical part.
Yes, Nikhil, yes.
Okay, any questions in this theoretical part, or any questions on the XPath or CSS?
So far, no, yeah. Welcome.
Okay, but if you don't practice using XPath, then you will never master an XPath. So please practice it. Try different elements. I shared you so many URLs, right? Around 6 to 7 applications I've shared you. You can try finding elements on any of those sites using XPath. You will face the difficulties when you try to do using XPath. Then you will get some questions. How do I find this? How do I find this? Okay, please practice it. Otherwise, whatever I said, those won't remain in your head. You'll forget it definitely. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Have a great sleep. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.